Welcome down to the Malted Man Cave. Unfortunately, only one of us is down in the man cave this evening. I about said this morning. It's been a crazy day. Dave, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. I miss you. I miss your sweet musk.
Dude, today was so awkward. So obviously, because of the quarantine and the social distance guidelines, I had to pack up all these samples in this whiskey and basically drop it in a drive-by and leave it at Dave's doorstep. You probably picked it up and Lysoled it down.
The Corona bag. I got the Corona. It got the full Corona treatment. I left it outside for 4 days.
Dude, how are your kids doing? Are they losing their mind?
Yeah, luckily they're built-in playmates, but they are getting sick of each other. I don't know how people are doing it in small houses, like in apartments, like in New York, where you have to be in a small, Hallie and I can't get far enough away from each other in the house.
I don't know about you. So me and Lindsay have been getting along really, really well, but the last couple of weeks, she's just so worried about the coronavirus. Is Hallie on edge about it?
It's been even and out. It's been even and out.
She works in healthcare, as most people who follow the channel probably have heard me talk about my wife. She's a nurse and she works at a nursing home rehab center. And so she's around it. She's every day we have a meeting for an hour about COVID-19. Then we get a memo about COVID-19. Then 11 o'clock, we have another meeting about COVID-19. And my wife already struggles with anxiety. So literally that's all she hears about. And it's all negativity all the time. And so she is just on edge, and she already has anxiety as it is, let alone to be hearing about it nonstop. And I'm like, sweetie, it's gonna be okay.
It's just one of those things that, yeah, when you're hearing the same thing over and over and over again, you you get caught up in that, man.
Yep.
And for her demographic, it is so serious. So
yeah, absolutely,
yeah. I mean, if one person gets it in her facility.
Well, you know that I'm working at the prison now, right?
I know, right?
So it's kind of luckily where I'm at in Madison Correctional in Ohio. They only had one case and he's already gone. But there's a place in Pickaway and I think Marion County or something like that. They have 300 people. The good thing is pretty much all of them are fine. That's the one thing I think not everybody is hearing, is that most people that get it are fine. Yes, there are some exceptions here and there.
70 to 80% don't even know that they don't even show symptoms.
And I saw some research the other day that somebody did of pregnant women in California. Out of 1,000, 15% of them had it and didn't even know. So yeah. I'm not trying to mitigate it, because I definitely think for people with bad immune systems and people that are older, it is really dangerous.
What's up, Alan?
Overblown a little bit. All right, so check in the chat. Let's see. Greg's Whiskey Guide is in. What's up, buddy? Hello. How are you doing over there in France?
Hi, Greg.
Hope things aren't too bad over there. I know it's hit you guys pretty hard. Too Slow is in. What's up? We have, let's see, Jimmy T is in the house. What's up, man? Thanks for joining us. Hope you guys are doing okay and are safe. Graham Fraser's in the house. What's up, buddy? Let's see, Jimmy Jazz. Thanks for joining us. Whiskey Straight Out, another awesome YouTuber. If you guys haven't checked him out, go check him out. He's got the accent and everything. So I don't want him to get too big, because we can't compete with that accent, with our Southern drawl, America.
No, we don't have an accent here in Ohio. We speak the true Queen's English.
But a lot of people that like Scotch do not like people that have American accents. We just don't have the credibility that he does. Let's see who else is in. Andrew Page, what's up, man? Thanks for joining. Anybody else? Eric Gilbert's in the house from Canada. Oh, Canada, thank you for joining us. All right, so without further ado, we want to get right into the review. We're going to do a live review of Laphroaig 10 Cask Strength. Dave, have you had this before?
I was trying to think whether or not you've poured it for me over at your house, and I don't think you had. Yeah, I don't think I have had it. I was trying to remember.
I think you've had Laphroaig 10, but not Laphroaig 10 Cask Strength.
Yeah. When did we review that?
I actually don't think we ever reviewed the regular Laphroaig 10. I think I just poured it for you at one point. We need to do that soon.
I had a friend that was watching old videos, and they were like, "Hey, tell me about this bottle, blankety blank," and I was like, Oh man, that was 2 years ago. That was the last time I had that. Let me remember.
Alex Julian is also in the house. Says, what's going on, Keith and Dave? Thanks for joining us, man. Hope you guys and your family are safe. So Laphroaig is obviously, a peat. It's on Isla. They're known for having a very distinct type of peat flavor. It's actually, even though I love Laphroaig, before people kill me, I love Laphroaig 18, Laphroaig 25. I think I've had Laphroaig 30 as well.
Isn't Laphroaig one of the ones that first got you excited about whiskey?
I love Laphroaig, but I don't know if I have told you that or not. We've drank so much whiskey now, who knows?
I know. I just don't remember. Something about
the Springbank were the two things that really got me into peat.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Then I started, Lagavulin, Ardbeg, Laphroaig. But even though I love Laphroaig is probably my least favorite of all the Isla peat bomb distilleries. So, not saying that there's plenty of Laphroaig expressions that I like that are better than certain Lagavulin or certain Kilchoman or certain, but Laphroaig is actually my least favorite. But this one is amazing, and a lot of connoisseurs, a lot of people that love peat bombs, this is kind of this is just the main go-to if you want a true delicious peat bomb. So I should have done my homework. I think most of this is bourbon cask matured, but if not 100% sure, so if you guys know in the chat, let us know what the cask maturation is. It tastes like mostly bourbon matured, but go ahead. Did you pour yours yet? The sample I gave you?
Oh, well, let's show the audience what I'm drinking out of tonight.
Oh gosh.
Well, we should take a vote on what the bearer of the liquid will be. I don't know if these are specimen cups or like you're
the bathroom into for drug tests. Is that what that is?
Or just like complimentary cups, but we had them here in the office. So we have these, and then we have your standard party Dixie cup.
So Dave is doing this live stream from his work office. Apparently, his kids and his family were up, and they were not going to allow for a live stream. So that is true commitment right there, Dave. We haven't done a review in 3 weeks, and you actually go to your job to do a live stream. So,
Greg, I'm so sorry, man. It's terrible. Just it's not like you come to my review. You don't come for my knowledge. You come for Keith's knowledge.
Andrew Page, I'm so sorry, buddy. I do not know the addition. I'll show you the bottle.
So, George, plastic. I also have some mugs in the back, some earthenware.
It says batch 10. Batch 10, Andrew. So I vote for the smaller one, like the urine Dixie cups, because I think you'll be able to smell better. And
I like that attitude, Greg. All right, so George, what if I just do a quick in and out?
I will buy you a Glencairn out of the Malted Man Cave Patreon money for next time, okay, buddy?
Times are tough. Corona times.
All right, you got it poured, bud. George is in the house. Georgie Porgy Kaplan's in the house. Oh my word! Aquavite's in the house. By the way, he said a lot of really nice things about us on his live stream. I think we gained 30 subs from that. So Roy, you are a scholar. Thank you so much, buddy.
That needs to be a shirt. Give me the cup.
Yeah, this. Oh, for shame. We're drinking out of your
Laphroaig in a paper cup.
Well, hey, it makes perfect sense because a lot of people say Laphroaig has a medicinal smell to it. So you're in a medical office setting. Makes perfect sense. You smell the bandages.
Oh, definitely. Straight off the bat. And that peatiness. Woo.
All right. So what do you get on the nose, Dave?
Oh, man. It smells like I am on the shores and I am cutting peat. So much salt. Kind of like a briny sea air. Very little like seaweed. I used to work in a restaurant, not in a restaurant. I valeted, and they would had these salads made out of seaweed and kind of a seaweedy smell to it. What about you?
Yeah. So this is a briny seaside peat bomb. You get all like it does have the medicinal notes, the bandage notes, the like chloroseptic, bonfire, like burning twigs, vanilla, floral, pears, maybe even a touch of apple behind all of that, salty barnacles and seashells. And
your refined nostrils have once again. I do smell it behind there.
What you are drinking out of a Dixie cup, so I don't know if that's exactly the best way to get tasting notes, Dave.
Oh, it's
way, dude. Your beard game is so strong right now. My.
It's the benefits of the Rona.
It's so thick, except for like right here. It is like the manliest beard until right there.
I just need some like eyeliner or something. Color it in.
I get a little bit of like linen jacket, linen shirt. There's kind of this drying linen that I get a lot with peat bombs. There's so much burnt twigs and so much like just bandages and medicine and chloroseptic spray. But it's got enough sweetness. I think there might be a little bit of sherry in here too. There's a little bit of sweetness in there other than like the orchard fruits that kind of reminds me of maybe some sherry cask maturation.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It reminds me so much of a like a apple pie or something like that. That sweetness that was overcrowded by the initial peaty, briny scent. It's really nice, man.
Oh man! All right, what do you get on the palate? You'd probably be able to taste it a little bit better on the palate. We'll get you. Don't worry, I'll hook you up with the Patreon money this month.
So palate-wise, vanilla. What you were saying about the vanilla, but as soon as I took a drink, it very much reminded me of like an apple pie with a really burnt crust to it, just a charred crust. I've eaten plenty of pies that you had to scrape off the tin or whatever. So some burnt to it. That the peatiness, the brininess, it kind of tastes like you're eating like a barnacle right off the side of a ship.
For real. This is like up there with
barnacle made out of vanilla apples.
This is soup. This is almost on par with Talisker 10 saltiness. I think this might be one of the saltiest drams I've ever had, except for Talisker 10.
I want to take this and put it around the rim of a margarita.
It really does. So I get, my goodness. This is one of the most intense flavors I think I've ever had in a whiskey. It is so much sooty bonfire smoke, salty barnacle brine, seashells. But then after all that huge punch in your face, you get behind all that saltiness, burntness, peatiness, you get the sweetness of maybe a little fruitiness, maybe even like slight strawberries, mostly covered with apples.
Would you say strawberry rhubarb pie?
Yeah. Is that what you said earlier?
No, that's what, as soon as you said strawberry, I was like, strawberry rhubarb pie again.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite pies too. So if I find that in a whiskey, it automatically just piles it up. Man, it's a good whiskey. I haven't drank this in a while. I forgot how good it was.
So report on Sweetheart wax cups. They can hold Laphroaig 10 pretty well. No breakage. No breakage. I am going to move on to a fresh one, though.
Anything else you get on the palate?
Did you say pears?
Yeah.
Yeah, pear is
pears that are on fire with a burnt twig.
It's a good way. Like a red hot pear.
You know, there's cinnamon and like red hots.
Yeah,
red hots there. Like it is burning. I can still taste it burning in my mouth like 30 seconds after you drink it.
This finish is crazy too.
Crazy. This might be the longest finish I think I've ever had, and I'm not good. All right, what do you think about on the finish? Any specific notes? I know we kind of already cheated and kind of said a couple, but
yeah. So first of all, it's a fantastic finish. It's very complex. So it is a peat smoked salt monster. That is what you are. What is going to hit first? But it's that rolling of sweetness of some of those lighter notes like vanilla, which is easy for me to pick out if you're going to taste this like me for the first time. Those notes, when you can get a lot of like cheap whiskeys, they can get like one simple note really well. And I feel like when somebody like me can find easy notes, boom, 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 in a whiskey, I'm like, oh, it must be a pretty good whiskey.
Yep. I'm telling you what, man, this is probably the longest finish I've ever had. As I think I hear my family
That's what you said.
1 second. I'll be right back. Hold that thought.
All right. What personal questions do you guys want to know about Keith? Oh, hey, he's back.
All right. So, on the finish, I asked my wife, I said, please don't let the kids come downstairs.
Oh.
I even rubbed your feet and everything.
Kate said, can we set up a Zoom with Ella?
We should do it, man.
Heck yeah. All right, so finish wise, everything's there for me. The smoke rolls out of the way, and it's not that it's still there. I feel like that initial note, that strong barnacle C note is there, but then there's just that sweetness that rolls out, and that red hot flavor to it. That just
it takes over at the end. It's like all encompassing.
I feel like a belly
that's like caught on fire in your mouth. Cinnamon red hots, a little bit of vanilla. Then you got a little bit of like linen dryingness, like linen shirt. My word. Yeah, I think this is the longest finish I've ever had. I'm not joking.
Holly's like, you're going to go to the office to drink? And I was like,
yeah,
it's just a little bit. We're just going to have a little bit. We're going to be there for a long time.
Desperate times, Dave. Desperate times.
Rona.
Our wives love our channel so much. They love it.
You know what? They do love it. They love us, so therefore they love the channel. Whiskey in a paper cup. If it's, I don't know, whiskey, give me the cup. That's
anything
fantastic.
else? Let's check in real quick with people and see what they have to say about Laphroaig 10 cask strength. What do you guys think about Laphroaig 10 cask strength? Have any of you guys had this specific batch 10? I think Andrew Page was saying earlier in the comments that that this one was one of his favorites. Let me scroll up a little bit. But if you guys are in the comment section, tell us what you guys think about Laphroaig cask strength. Dude, I love this new option where you can just easily pin the comment right underneath. StreamYard is so much better than Google Hangouts. This is my first time hosting my own Hangout. Dave, we need to start doing more live streams.
Yeah, for real. We can do this. We can do this during like my lunch hour.
Greg said, great stuff, Keith, but I don't have a recent version like yours. So he must have had, I'm sure the old school stuff was probably even better. Does anybody know, when did Laphroaig start coming out with the 10 cask strength? Anybody know? Aquavite is still in the house. I thought he was leaving. He says, please leave some thumbs up. Love for this whiskey enthusiasm, folks. I can't talk apparently. Thanks, Roy. Roy, oh, I showed the wrong one. Graham, I love you too, though. Where'd Roy go? There we go.
Good. Sunday evening scotch. It means a lot. I was a little worried about the old beard. I've never let it grow before.
I think Roy is single-handedly responsible for about 500 of our subscribers directly from being on his channel or when he's said nice things about us. So, Roy, if you're still on here, thanks, buddy. It's an honor to be friends with you.
But he's made us do a lot of weird things. So
a lot of weird things.
It has its drawback.
Of us. The Brett Weinstein.
You sign a deal with the devil. Be prepared to get a little burned.
Guy in Hollywood that raped everybody. Was it Brett Weinstein? Is that his name?
No, Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein. There we go.
Let's just say Roy, 2 dragons.
But seriously, Roy, we love you, buddy. We're just joking. The whiskey influencers in the house. Leo Chav. Sorry if I butchered it. Let's see. There's a couple other whiskey rookies in the house. He says he really enjoyed batch 9. Sipper Social Club, by the way, another awesome channel who is literally, he just started it like 8 months ago and he already has like 20,000 subscribers. So it's an honor to have you stop in, Jeremy. Thanks, buddy. He's got a really awesome channel and he likes a lot of whiskey that I like, a lot of Springbanks, a lot of Hazelburns and Long Rows. So what's up, Jeremy? Sunday evening scotch is in. What's up, Michael? He lives in Indiana and I actually got to meet him when I went out for a whiskey tasting to meet. And then there was another time I got to see him when actually, who was it? Compass Box, John Glazer, and he was there. He's a really good guy, him and his wife. His wife loves whiskey too. So jealous.
Is that the table? What's that place called?
The Vine and Table.
Vine and Table. You brought back like a specialty release from there, right?
I think you're thinking of the George and Amy Kaplan bought it for us. It was
yes. It was delicious.
It was a Burgundy. It's Edward Balakan 12 Burgundy cask strength. Oh my gosh, I missed that.
It was delicious.
I whiskey so much. I dream of that whiskey. I need that whiskey back in my life. George, you ever want to send me another bottle? But I think they're probably all gone by now, to be honest with you.
We need to go down and help Georgie do some work around the house.
For sure. Oh yeah, Sunday evening scotch. He had that black and burgundy too, and he knows how good it was.
6 feet apart though.
So without further ado, Dave, let's get this.
Oh man, this is going to be a massacre. All right. Malted
Man Cave Mark, what are you going to give this?
So this is one of my favorite Barnacle salty, delicious drams. I really enjoyed it. It's not my most favorite thing. It's not like I sit down and I'm like, hey, I have these options. This is what I'm going to go with. So in my opinion, it's like an 89.
And I figured, like, Pete, you like Pete, but it's not your favorite, right? Bourbon.
It's not my favorite thing. I loved this. Loved it.
You can tell why people who really like Pete and cask strength whiskeys, why they would like this, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh my goodness, every single note was.
So, I think I'm going to give it a 90 out of 100. I'm very tempted to go 91, but I'm trying to be more conservative with my marks. But man, it probably has the best finish, or maybe not the best finish, but the most powerful and lingering.
Yeah, just memorable. It's a very memorable finish.
The only other thing I can think of would be like King of Kentucky or Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, a really powerful bourbon that really lasts for a really long time. I'm trying to think of another scotch that I've had that's really lasted this long. And I can't think of anything off the top of my mind. I think it's the best. The whiskey influencer says that the Black and 12 Burgundy can still be found. Buddy, we may have to talk offline on Instagram about where that's at because I need another bottle of that right now. All right, so it's an 89 out of 100 for you, a 90 out of 100 for me, almost 91 out of 100 for me. So let's check in a little bit with the chat, and then we're going to get to your bourbon blind challenge. Dave was very butthurt that he was not a part of the top 5 best bang for your buck bourbons. Sorry,
No,
Dave.
no. I wasn't butthurt. I was butthurt because
so
you got all sensitive in the comments.
Butthurt.
You got all sensitive in the comments, and you're like, Dave's a mooch.
You are a mooch. You are spelled.
David doesn't really have an opinion. He doesn't drink whiskey. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Just because I don't buy 100 bottles.
To be able to do a video of your top 5 favorite, like, bang for your buck bourbons, yes, you have to buy a lot of bourbons to know.
I got a top 5.
Is it an educated top 5 though?
It's you know what?
Top 5. It's their top 5. And that's all
street education. It's street educated.
It's mooch educated is what it
I
is.
went to the school hard knocks.
All right, let's check in with the chat. Whiskey Influencer says, thanks for stopping in. He's going to peace out. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. Hope you have a good night. Hope you were safe and well. Let's go back up. Bourbon Challenge, bring it on, says Greg from France.
I do see Whiskey Rookie putting it up. I did think that it was a bit suspect the bourbon guy didn't have input. Well, to be honest, Keith's probably more of a bourbon guy than I am because he buys more bourbon. I just like bourbon more than Scotch whiskey. So that's why I'm the bourbon guy, because that's my preferred thing. So as far as like quantity and knowledge, Keith's always going to have that over me. But as far as sheer just enthusiasm and spirit for the spirit, that would be my area of expertise.
So Mike from Sunday Evening Scotch says, Dave, lay that top 5 on us. So Dave, right now, top 5
right at the top of my back.
Your buck bourbons, buddy.
Bang for the buck, Elijah Craig, just regular Elijah Craig. You don't even have to look for any cask strength, extra barrel proof thing. Just regular Elijah Craig. And then, of course, this guy right here is also one of my favorites. I would probably say Four Roses single barrel is one of the best bang for the bucks. It's a great gift to give everyone. Everyone looks at it and they're like, Four Roses, and then they love it. And then what else? I probably would go with, I liked Weller a lot.
Which one? You see, I gave you the bottle of Weller Special Reserve.
Yes, that one. I liked the Special Reserve, but there was like 2, right? You had
Antique 107.
Yeah.
I have a sample of that this evening.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that sample. So Weller, Elijah Craig, Four Roses, and then I would throw in a I don't know, Buffalo Trace. I love it. Love it all.
Yeah. It's a good list, bud. It's a good list, Bronzy. So
hey, let's get into this, man.
All right. So for those of you guys still with us, I compiled a list of 4 bourbons, and I gave him 4 samples for him to taste. Let me pull up my notes so I remember what it was.
Uh-oh.
I gave him, in no particular order, Dave, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, the regular standard Maker's Mark, Knob Creek 120 single barrel, and Weller's Antique 107. So I hope you tried each one of those 4. I didn't want to hear your little excuses. I've never had these whiskeys. Says you've had every one of these, because I believe we reviewed every one of these, and you've had it at my house for poker nights, and you got to have it tonight before you even tried to do this bourbon challenge.
I'm up for it. What do I get if I win?
Nothing. You gotta embarrass yourself. No, if you win, I'll pour you another one of those big sample bottles of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
I like it. What constitutes a win? Like 50% or higher?
3 out of 4.
All right. Ooh. All right. So a D.
3 out of 4, Brunzy. 3 out of 4.
A 75%. All right, I can handle that. All right. So should we start with number 1?
We should start with number 3.
All right, okay, we're gonna start with number 3. Are you gonna tell the group what it is? And I'm gonna
I don't think there's a way for us to be able to.
No worries. Let's get into this. Let's make it quick. All right.
So this is either Knob Creek 120 single barrel. It's either Weller's Antique 107. It's either Maker's Mark, the regular, or it's Elijah Craig barrel proof. Are you doing number 1?
Oh, you said 3.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm losing my mind. Apparently 1 dram has me tipsy already.
3.
All right. 3.
So this is 3.
And I will tell you after you submit your final answer.
All right.
Out of his urine Dixie cup.
My urine, my sample
you can
cup.
probably still taste and smell the Laphroaig.
No, it's not a sample cup. We have sample cups in the lab. I thought about, but I can't waste that many sample cups. All right.
Why
number 3?
First of all, why do you look so tan?
Why do I what?
Look so tan.
I've been working outside, man. Rona.
So have I, and I still look like Casper the Ghost.
Oh, it's because you have those lights. I have a bunch of office lights shining down on me. Hey, all right. So number 3 is, my guess is
Maker's Mark. Is that your final choice?
That's my final choice.
For number 3.
Yes.
Dude, you did it. I'm impressed. All right. 1 for 1, Davey. All right. Jump up to number 1. Number 1.
I gotta get a new cup.
Urine Dixie cup?
Urine cup. All right.
Jeremy from Sippers Social Club wants us to send him some. He says, you couldn't send this guy a glass. I know, man. I forgot. I dropped him off all these whiskey samples. I thought he would at least have a wine glass. I didn't know he was going to his establishment of work.
Oh, man.
We'll get him one. We'll use the Patreon money and buy you one for next month, okay?
All right, so this is number 1.
Any notes you're getting? Would you care to share with us what you're thinking? Any notes to stick out?
What I'm thinking with this one is it reminds me of...
Dude, you are killing it tonight. I'm actually pretty surprised, Dave. Look at you. Maybe you should do your own top 5.
Dude, it tastes just like the big brother to the Wellers that I had.
Yep, because it's more, and it's a weeded bourbon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's big brother.
Dang it, Dave. I think you're going to win. I don't want to give you any more Elijah Craig barrel proof. I only have 1 bottle.
I won't hold you to it, man.
All right. Number 2. You're going to get 100. Kind of pissed.
Love you, man. Miss you.
Miss you too, man. You're doing amazing.
All right, so this smells like bachelor party to me.
Eric Gilbert says morning after a night of Coors sample cups.
So this reminds me of bachelor party, and the proof is in the pudding. Woo! This baby is none other than Knob Creek.
Dude, I'm all right. What the frick? I feel like somehow you cheated.
I swear I didn't. Man.
Dude, Knob Creek is number 2.
All right, so that means
3 for 3, and now you obviously know what the last one is. So go ahead.
I know what this baby is. I will not tank this with a Dixie cup. That is the sweet stylings of Elijah Craig barrel proof or cask strength. What is it?
I'm gonna have to have George Kaplan try and find me another Elijah Craig barrel proof up in Michigan because he can find them pretty easy. Since I have to give you the rest of my bottle, but a deal is a deal.
No, man, no.
I'll pour it up for you.
Hey, thank you so much for the samples. Hey, when you come into the Bourbon Kings realm, you better come ready.
So George Kaplan and Mike from Sunday Evening Scotch are saying that we should make some the Malted Man Cave Glencairns and have them like engraved. So they're saying that they would buy some. We should do that.
I would too. I need some. I'll order some.
Maybe we'll look at the budget of the Clark family and the little bit of Patreon money we get and see if we could engrave some up and see how much it would cost.
We gotta wait for those sweet stimulus checks to come in.
Mine already came in, man. $3,400. I was like, yeah.
Trump.
It's so weird. Republicans are sending money now. What's going on? It's like the end of the world. Republicans are sending money.
That's bad, right? You know that's a bad sign.
All right, should we do a question of the night before we call it a wrap tonight?
Sure. What are you thinking?
You are the question of the night guru. So what do you think?
All right. So
controversial. So for you that are watching, we probably lost about 300 subscribers every time that we talk about something somewhat controversial. So let's not make it too controversial, Dave.
I'm not. So what do you think? What do you think that the hardest thing to do will be for you when things open back up? Is it going to your favorite restaurant that's really, really busy? Is it? It's probably nothing for you, but how about your wife or your family? What do you think is going to be impacted the most?
Can you explain that a little bit more? What is going to be the hardest thing for me?
I'm just wondering.
I'm not actually that worried about coronavirus. I think even if I got it, even though I'm a little overweight, I think I'd be fine. I think most people are fine.
So let me rephrase it. Let me put it in a better way. What industry do you think is going to be impacted by this the greatest forever because of what we're dealing with right now, whether it's working from home, whether it's teachers being phased out real quick because of age and lack of technology? What do you think is going to change the most from all this?
I don't think it's going to be forever, but I think for the next 3 years or so, anything that has to do with traveling to other countries and tourism is just going to take so long, and it's really sad. I think a lot of those, beach resort places are going to go out of business. Hopefully they're, with that plan, the stimulus plan, some of them will be able to get through this, but I'm worried that even if they get through this next month or two, what after that? As a mental health counselor, like 50% of the American population has anxiety and depression. There ain't no way, even if everything is safe, they're not going to go out though, because they're all going to be paranoid about it. I already know my wife. Even if like literally every medical doctor said everything's safe, we're totally good, she's not going to go out. Like I know her.
Yeah.
So many people have anxiety. So I'm really worried about airlines, tourist spots, hotels. It's going to be rough times for the next 2 to 3 years, man.
Yeah.
Rough times.
So what I'm kind of concerned about is if the new normal is wearing like face coverings and things like that, what kind of Orwellian laws are going to come into place in order to manage a population that is faceless?
Yeah.
It's just strange to think about it, and strange to think about conversation without half your face. I guess Asia's been doing it for 10, 20 years now, 50.
You think that everyone's going to keep the mask on for how long?
That's what they're talking for forever.
I won't be. That will not be me. Unless it's
probably larger population density areas, I would imagine. If you're sharing a train with 500 people, you might put a mask.
Why would we do that for something that's only a little bit worse than the flu? I know we're going to stay away from controversy. I think it's a lot more contagious than the flu. I think the death rate's a little bit higher than the flu, but it's already at 0.7. And wait till we test all these people with antibody tests. Like tons of people have the flu, have COVID-19 and don't know it. The death rate's going to be closer to like 0.3, 0.4, which is a little bit worse than the flu.
I think the movie theater industry is going to be the most impacted.
How so?
I think people are going to be like, oh, like we just rented Trolls World Tour. We didn't have to go to the movie theater. We could just rent it at home for the kids and cook, make our own popcorn, eat our own candy. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, like
the movie
will make money by rents and by buying it, digital copies. But movie theaters, like Regal Cinemas or
that's what I mean. Movie theaters, like the physical place, is going to be kind of an antique, like a boutique kind of thing. Like, let's go to that place that still shows movies.
So you're still worried about it, huh? After all the different research that's coming out, that
man, I'm not from a health wise. I'm not worried about it. What I'm telling my patients is that
they should be worried. Old people should be worried.
Yeah, the reason why I wear a mask.
If I was old and 85, I would be staying in. For sure.
Yeah, when I am seeing patients, the reason why I'm wearing a mask, when I'm out in public, the reason why I wear a mask is because I'm in contact with a lot of people still, and I don't want to give it to anybody. If I'm asymptomatic, which 70 to 80% of everyone is, I could.
Why are we not doing this for the flu? If we're worried about giving,
we should be doing it. If you are, but it all goes back to better testing. Meaning, we should have testing reliable where we know what we have and whether we need to cover our face when we're out in public or not. Meaning, Keith, if you knew that you had COVID-19 and you were going to spread it if you went out into public, you would be cautious about not breathing on an elderly person and something like that.
I can visit my parents just because of that. So make it be very clear. I agree with that. We took at least 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more to stop the spread. I definitely think it is worse than the flu, and I definitely don't want to give it to my parents. I just think that the media has overhyped this a little bit, and people with anxiety and all this rich Americans and rich people in the West and Europe, we got to hold on to everything that we have, and we think that we can control everything. And I don't know. I just think it's a little bit overblown, personally. But it's better to be safe than sorry. I'll admit that. It's always better to be safe than sorry, which is why I have not seen my parents yet, because it's not risk, And I told my dad, he was working at Lindsay's nursing home. He's a retired teacher, and he was just doing a part-time job driving patients to doctor's appointments. And I was like, and they had him, because they were short of people, taking people's temperature at the front, like before they came in for their shift. And I was like, why are you don't need the money, Dad. Why are you risking that? That's when people are actually spreading it, coming into contact when you're taking people's temperature. So I want to make it be very clear that I don't think that it's totally fine. I just think it's hyped a little bit. And I don't think this is going to
you and your family, you are not personally concerned for your extended family and those that could be impacted by it if they did get it and have a bad result. Yeah, of course, it's terrible. And we should be doing a better job of being cleaner, like as far as teaching our kids to wash their hands. The problem is that we probably already do it pretty well. It's just the population knowledge of it is what needs to get better, as far as just public cleanliness.
Graham Fraser saying, I am still hoping to get over to Kentucky in autumn, fall to do the Bourbon Trail. Am I overly optimistic? I'll wear a mask between drams if required. For sure. So I think by the fall, I think we'll be good to go. I'm sure a lot of people will still be wearing masks. A lot of people will be not going to huge crowds if they don't have to. So I want to make it very clear, guys. I'm not saying like I'm glad that we did the whole social distancing. Like if I was around people like that, I needed to wear a mask. I have to wear a mask at the prison every day. Where I'm at work right now, I have to wear my mask, and I do. I just don't like it when people overhype things, and I think that that's being done a little bit. But it's better to be safe than sorry. I just think a lot of people haven't seen the research that's been done recently that shows that the death rate is a lot lower than they originally projected. A lot lower.
Which is good because it means whatever we're doing is working, right?
Well, no. I mean, the infection rate getting lowered, yes, the social distancing has stopped that. But the death rate is the death rate no matter what. No matter how many people get it, it's going to be about the same death rate. They were saying like 3 to 7%. Like, yes, that's like end of the world type stuff. But even Deborah Birx, the head lady with Dr. Fauci, was saying it's closer to 0.7 right now. But that's even going lower because you have to have the denominator, right?
Yeah.
How many people have it to know how many people die to know what the death rate is, right? Well,
yeah.
Before they do tests, tons of people have had it and were asymptomatic. So I think that's only going to keep lowering the death rate. So I think it's a very scary thing. It's the scariest thing that we've had in a long time. But I don't think it's the bubonic plague like is being advertised. That's all.
We need to get those beak masks that the bubonic plague doctors wear.
The doctors and like the dark
with the flowers and the smelling salts in them so that they couldn't smell.
Greg is saying depends where, Keith, and I agree. I think a lot of people saw in Italy the death rate was really high there, and that's because they were overwhelmed. But a lot of people, that's not a good sample size to generalize your findings because they had the oldest population in Europe, the second oldest in the world. They have almost everybody smokes in Italy, which is a pre-existing condition that exacerbates, the effects of COVID-19. There was a large population of Wuhan workers that were in Italy, and it was a perfect storm in Italy, and everyone saw the death rate, which was horrifying. Horrifying how bad it got there.
Keith,
but
we did it. We got controversial.
Dave, I can see Dave through the lens like, don't do it, Keith.
Let's wave goodbye.
Those 20 subscribers we got from Roy, shout out. Goodbye.
You know what though? The thing is that iron sharpens iron. You and I do not agree on everything. We are very much different, and we've been in very heated arguments over our differences. And
iron sharpens iron. You should be able to debate.
Keith is very vocal. If you're offended by Keith, that's fine. Stay in the conversation and change your mind because
talking about the science. How could that possibly be offensive?
I know to you, whatever. You just the notion of being offended and then retreating from it just doesn't make sense to me. So it's like the people that always dislike our bourbon reviews. Tell us.
You know what? The worst review is me doing a single bourbon review. That was a whole new type of low viewership.
It breaks my heart every time. Anyways, so I am. I just hope I hope everyone just stays friends with us. We're friends with everybody, no matter if your opinion is stupid or if our opinion is stupid. Let's have a conversation about it.
Yep. So Sunday evening, Scott said, I won't be political tonight. 3 drinks later. Where was Gondor when the Westfold fell? Oh my gosh. I love Lord of the Rings. Thank you so much for geeking out and doing that tonight, Michael. Thank you so much. Jay Chung is in the house. He says, wait, is Dave at the doctor's office? I got here late.
I got the vid.
You didn't see Dave drinking Laphroaig 10 Cask strength out of a urine Dixie cup because he doesn't have a Glencairn. All right, I'm going to go up a little bit to see how many people are mad at me. Let's see. Whiskey Rookie says, I'm just glad I'm stocked up on whiskey for a few years. Andrew Page says the death rate is still doubling every week and deaths are being underreported. Andrew, I'd have to disagree with you. I think a lot of deaths, especially in New York City, are being overreported. Flu and pneumonia deaths are being counted as COVID-19 even when they haven't been tested. It's on the CDC website. It actually states that a doctor can claim it to be COVID-19 even if they didn't test. there's a lot of, I think people are ignoring the politics, and I don't want to get into too much, but there's a lot of people that really wanted Trump's economy to fall. And so, I mean, even if you're like the hardest core liberal, you'd have to at least admit that the media does not want him to do well. And that there's been a lot of things that have been kind of trending. And don't get me wrong, there's lots of things about Trump that I don't like. He's an egomaniac. He was a womanizer. Obviously, the whole grabber.
I've never had this many conversations about the federal government in my entire life. If you're not this concerned about your state and local politics, Keith Clark, we all need to get more involved with our state and local governments and stop worrying about if we didn't pay so much attention to Trump and to whatever happens with all of our federal leaders, the media wouldn't have any clicks to sell in that category, so they wouldn't concentrate on it or whatever it may be. Media is what it is. It's not the fair and balanced, like you're going for the story no matter what it was. It's owned by shareholders, or it's owned by a privately owned individual. So I just feel like we need to be coming together a little bit more instead of worrying about the federal government is going to be a ship that moves in and of itself by laws enacted long before us. So if you're not worried about state and local or wherever you are in the world, if you are more concerned about your leader at the top of the ranks and you're not concerned about who's running the biz around your home, you got it backwards.
Yep, I agree. Amy says, depends on how your health is, how overblown this is. And I will agree with you, Amy. And I said that earlier. I 100% think that if you're overweight, like extremely overweight, and you're older, if you have diabetes, if you smoked your whole life and you have COPD, absolutely, I would stay in. I would have your loved ones be careful, wear masks, don't visit you at all, 100%. So I'm not saying that at all. But that's the same thing with a lot of different viruses of sickness. If you have a lot of pre-existing conditions, you're vulnerable to a lot of other things, not just this. But I agree, especially with this. I think that's absolutely true, 100%. So we're actually getting more views now that we're getting political, Dave. Maybe that's a sign of
burning down the house.
Graham Fraser agrees with me. Well, maybe not. He says, large number of COVID-19 deaths in the UK are in care homes. That's another thing. I think as we're reopening the economy, we should do kind of what UK was doing at first and then quickly aborted to, the idea of people that are young and healthy going back to work, not visiting your old grandma in the nursing home, and people that are at huge risks with pre-existing conditions, they should stay in and isolate and quarantine 100%. We should have programs to take those people food, to take them movies, take them whatever, to help them get through this time. I think that is probably the smarter idea now as we reopen. The vulnerable people should be staying in, right?
It's just such a strange, though, but you try. So I work with people with hearing loss, which is primarily the older population, and we're really only seeing emergency patients, and everyone has to go through a questionnaire and be checked before they come in the building. It's crazy. But they still come. And it turns out that some of them just come, it feels like, to shoot the breeze. And I'm like, you are the demographic. Go home.
You were telling me that earlier. I can't believe that old people are still coming to get their hearing aids adjusted in this. Like that, I agree with you. They should be worried and should be staying in.
They will be coming in and just not a care in the world. Some of them will get a little upset that I have a mask on or that I won't shake their hand still.
So Andrew Page doesn't agree. He says, don't agree with the man on the left, but this is amusing. Well, I'm just stating stats that, it's
stats that you read somewhere on some biased website.
It's the CDC?
Yeah. They're controlled by somebody.
Deborah Birx, the head lady for all this in the United States.
I've just never in my life, I've never seen such a divided nation over stupid politics. I think what it boils down to, if you believe the mainstream media or not,
And I've seen
I don't even watch news.
It's everywhere, man. I've never seen a more dishonest media, and that's what's really hurting our country. Even if, man, there's some things that I'm very liberal about. I'll
tell you what.
I can't stand the media.
So I am Keith's liberal friend.
So we're balanced. It's fair and balanced here. We have a liberal and a conservative here.
So I listen to the New York Times podcast called The Daily.
Why?
Because I'm fair and balanced, dude. If you aren't getting a well balanced appetite,
calm down. I agree.
So I listen to called The Daily.
What did they say?
They just went over Biden's sexual assault allegations, and it was literally like I've agreed with everything that their podcast has really said about COVID. They've done a really good job on COVID-19, not really over like playing it or being fearful or anything, just stating facts and what's actually happening. And then they went into this thing about Joe Biden's accuser, and the way that they went about discrediting it, like it was very strange. It is the left is so sold on Biden that they will just ignore common red flags that even I was like, well, even if this accuser is completely lying, the way that you are changing what she said and the actions that happened to fit your narrative, it was gross. And for the first time, I shut the podcast off because I was like, man, I like pride myself on being open-minded, but there is an agenda behind that. And I feel like the whole Biden, I can't find anybody that was excited about Joe Biden until the Democratic Party said, be excited about Joe Biden.
Well, did you see Alyssa Milano? So during the whole Brett Kavanaugh, she's like, believe all women, no matter what. There's no due process. And now that she's a Joe Biden fan, she's like, well, he needs to have his due process. We don't know for sure. Whatever happened to believe all women, Alyssa Milano? Believe all women.
I totally see the doubts and the holes in this lady's argument because it's she only told a couple people and it's years and years and years.
I 100% think that she may be lying, just like
I totally see where those holes are. But if you go back and listen to that podcast, and it was gross. So New York Times, if this is what you're squeezing in between good journalism, I guess I'll have to take it. But it was weird.
Whiskey Straight Out, he's the YouTuber from over there in the UK, says, as a journalist by trade since the mid 80s, I despair about the media. There is little objective reporting now. It's all propaganda and spin depending on who owns the outlet. And it's so true. And as someone who leans conservative, I'll agree. Even Fox News can be biased and like they're fear mongering and they're like, buy gold now. The world is ending. Obama is the Antichrist. Obama is the Antichrist.
You know somebody's gonna just cut out that little 5-second clip of you shouting Obama's the Antichrist.
Dude, there's no way the algorithm is not gonna favor this video.
Is this our last review?
This is our last review. We want to thank you guys all for being a part of our channel. We will no longer be doing videos after this. So Eric Gilbert says, hold on, let me go back up. Oh no, where'd it go? Dang it, I lost it. Oh, gotta go up. Oh, where is it? Give me 1 second, guys. Eric Gilbert says, I blame America all the time. Just natural around these parts. He's from Canada. And then he says, wait a minute. What? There are libs in the States? Oh, man. I just want to get to a place where liberals and conservatives can get along. Why can't we disagree on stuff and still be friends?
We can.
And I actually think there's more things that we agree on than we disagree. But we take the things that we disagree and we elevate them above everything else.
Like killing babies.
Dave. Don't go down that.
All right. Hey,
That might
I
be
got to run, my man.
Huh?
I got to take off soon.
Yeah, Mashburn says you just got demonetized. Faux show. But hey, guys, thank you so much. Praying for everybody to be safe. COVID-19 is very dangerous for older people and people that have pre-existing conditions. We'll pray that all of you guys and families are safe. Stay quarantined as long as you can. Be safe about it. If you want to wear a mask, I'm not so sure I will be unless I have to. But thank you guys for watching. Dave, do you have anything you want to say before we sign off?
Yeah, please, if you are going to unsubscribe from us, please don't, and just join in and like
educate us for why I'm
I would love it. I would love for somebody to do that rather than just to be dismissive. So I'm up for a challenge. I know Keith is up for a challenge because I am a challenge. So
Dave is very liberal, so just remember that before you hit unsubscribe. All right. Everybody, we got to do this soon.
Love you too, man.
Green says, I blame Laphroaig cast strength for the last 20 minutes of this live. LOL. I agree with you, buddy. But thank you guys all for joining. Please like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell. And as always, Scotch is king.
But bourbon out of a pee-pee cup is best.
Cheers.
Cheers.